Hello there. I initially started filming this vlog to document like the start of an immensely busy work period for me. I have about 12.5 deadlines in the span of the next 2.5 months, which is a lot for me, and I know it's going to be hectic. I just didn't account for something going awry outside of my work life.
Bye.
We're going to Office Works.
It's so weird looking back at what I filmed this day because I was in such a good mood. I felt productive. I was just where I wanted to be. I was going into the final artwork of a publishing project, and I think this vlog just goes to show that anything can happen at any time. All my little quips throughout the day seem so silly. All of these little things that I concern myself day to day seem silly. Complaining about the arts while not having my paper seems so silly.
Oh my god, they don't have my paper. I don't know why, but I just assumed they would.
I saw I was getting a call from my dad, so I turned on my camera just in case. It's what I usually do. Like, often I just don't use footage. Just as I turned on my camera, he was telling me he was in the hospital.
Wait, what? Haha? Which hospital? So I could have come and kept you company because it's so boring there. And I know that because when I go to get my asthma thing, it's so boring. Rocket just came in because at RPA.
Far out.
And that's what I said, but he said he's going to get discharged soon.
Oh, what happened?
So what? I'm just going to recount to Rocket Papa. So do you know where...
My dad can be quite stoic, and we both use humor in these sorts of serious situations to lighten the mood. So even when he was telling me he was in the hospital, he was reassuring me everything was fine and not to come in. Really, he was getting stitches and having several broken bones. He's got a really high tolerance for pain, it seems, and the doctors confirmed this. Since I wasn't going in, I wrapped up the work I was doing that night and I went home. The next morning, I went in and I brought some creature comforts from home, but then realizing there was going to be more appointments closer to my house than his, my dad stayed with us for the next few days. I brought my computer home. I worked on some things here and there, but mostly we watched Father Ted and like Clarkson Farm together. Made hot chocolates and like food. A few days later, I dropped him off to get surgery, and when I left the hospital, I was like suddenly emotional. I think what I do is try and keep like the vibes high in the moment and then try and process things later. This is what I do in a lot of aspects of my life. Like, people were calling me, I was like getting emotional. I just did not want to be on the phone because I didn't want to be crying when I was in the art store getting paper. Priorities, I know. I tried to practice small acts of self-care now. So like going to the secondhand bookstore, which I love, getting lunch that I really love, because I would have to dive into some work when I got to the studio, and I'm just trying to like balance self-care and work. I've been trying to do that in like the last year or so, and it's really helpful.
I just got to the studio. I don't feel good at all. The last few days I've been looking after my dad because you guys saw me find out he had a fall. I just feel stressed about that. I just left him in the hospital, and now I'm back. I'm gonna start working on my kids' book, and I have a bunch of stuff to do. This is so silly. And also a pottery class tonight. So I want to get like at least 1 or 2 rough sketches transferred to like how I want them to finally be. And then I will hopefully start painting this week, but I also have to edit my next vlog for you guys. So yeah, I'm just emotional. I'm just gonna pick like what I want to do most first and then base it on that. I hope I have paper thin enough because my drawing desk is kind of in the sun unless I like block it out. Anyway, we'll see about that. Bye.
So mostly like our daily routine for the next few days became going into the hospital in the morning to keep my dad company, and then in the afternoons I would go to the studio to paint. In a lot of cases, being a professional creative can be tough. Being creative on command, even when you don't feel like it, the uncertainty of carving out your own career, working for yourself, working alone. But I honestly am so grateful at the moment to be able to blast my music, work without speaking to anyone, having the flexibility of being able to go to the hospital without asking anyone for leave. My baseline is stress, and I don't know why. I think stressing myself out is a sort of mental compulsion that I perform to like feel prepared in case anything goes wrong. It's a weird way to get reassurance from myself, but like it actually creates so much stress in my body. It's not good. This made me realize like I need to stop doing that, because when I need to be stressed, I will be stressed. I don't need to feel stressed all the time. Like, it's kind of unnecessary. I really like this piece I'm creating at the moment. It's for a publishing project, so I can't show you too much, but life is short. So use the good washi tape is what I'm taking away from this period of time. And so please enjoy my studio time as much as I did. I am going to choose the gouaches that I want to use for this project. I think it's good to keep it limited because then you can like mix new colors out of the more limited palette. When I say limited, I don't mean my usual limited palette of like a few colors. I mean like we're just going to choose colors for the project and we're not going to add any more. Now for a lot of this, there's not going to be any white or any black. I don't think I'll need the black to darken any colors, but I may need white to like lighten some of them. And there will be like a rainbow, some rainbows throughout the book. So I definitely want to have enough colors to express that. And then I think the other colors can just dance around those colors, if that makes sense. I think what I really want to do is swatch every single color and then be able to move it around after I choose the final color palette so that I can basically like refer to it for each page. Really rough, but I'm essentially just drawing out like the clothes that the main character of this book wears because it's an expression of who they are. Who you are is invisible, but like the expression of who you are is something that is obviously visible. So like I want to make sure like it's consistent throughout the book. I have the base color and then as light changes I can adjust for that. So this is like, for example, this is school uniform. Cool. And then I can assign colors to these. These are the paints that I'm using and these are the swatches of the paints. As I said before, like the outside looks different to the inside sometimes. Like for example, this is sap green. It's similar, but it's a slightly darker color. And this is the color that what the scans are going to look like. So I'd rather have the original. It's going to be a rainbow in the book, and I want the rainbow essentially to be like an expression of the character. So I want to look at like what colors I'm assigning the clothing and then figure out how to build their rainbow based on like, for example, yellow is used a lot. In my defense, I have none. Dressed the same. Me and cannot show you exactly where this illustration is going, but I have to say I love it. Like, why can I create the best work when there's something going on in my life? I don't know. I guess it's just a silver lining, but like, thank God, because if I don't think I could cope with not liking my work right now. I just finished my first piece for the book. That means I can put a sticker on my spread and I'm really happy with like the style. We're going to use these apple stickers to mark off when I finished a spread. Let's do it together. Yay! Woohoo! Oh my god, I feel so good. Even though weird stuff is happening, when my work is good, at least it gives me some stability. I'm back with another website tip, and that is tell me about yourself. About pages will never be the be all and end all, but just like showing your process in your project pages, about pages give your prospective clients an idea of who they'll be working with, and that can honestly sweeten the deal. Just like any good conversation, it's best not to go on and on and on, but an easy way to build an about page is to answer some of these questions succinctly. Who are you? What do you do? Do you have any qualifications? How do you like to make the things that you make? What are you interested in? It may even be nice to include what you look like. If you're up against someone that's equally as good as you, if you have a very personable about page, I honestly think it could be the tipping point for some clients. You guys know that I love Squarespace, and you've seen just how easy it is to build an about page. I used one of their page templates, but you can totally make it from scratch if that's what you're into. I've been using them for almost a decade to run my business, so I definitely recommend. If you've never tried Squarespace, use furrylittlepeach for a discount. Bye!